guys, welcome back to another video, and as you guys can see, I bought another Traxxas. So in the box you get your car, the remote, and this little bag of stuff right here. In the bag is your instruction manual, manual on how to use the remote, extra preload clips, stickers, 2 extra wheelie bar wheels, and if you guys can look right there, it comes with an extra pinion gear, which is a 29 tooth pinion. So starting up front, we have a giant foam bumper, which supports the front of the body and keeps it from collapsing under speed. We got some oil-filled shocks up front. In the back, we have huge slicks. Like, these things are fat, dude. Let me tell you. Here's the slicks I run on my fast car, and they're significantly skinnier than the tires that come stock on the Traxxas. But we also have a 272R transmission. This is a very good transmission. It's very durable. It's very easy to work on, which you guys can't see, but underneath, you drop the tranny off the chassis. There are 4 screws where you can undo the bottom and pull the differential out, which is a lot easier to work on, unlike the standard 272s where you have to take the whole transmission apart in order to get the differential out. We also got oil-filled shocks in the rear with the progressive right spring. And I will say, I do not like that this car came with progressive right springs on the rear. I found it very hard, excuse me. I found it very hard to tune with. So that's why I ended up switching to some linear right springs. In the center of the chassis here, we got our receiver box. We got our ESC, which is a 3S ESC. And we also have a 3S motor in the back as well. And finally, we have our servo tucked away under here. So this car, unlike the old school Traxxas, has actually come with heavy-duty suspension components. You guys can see right there, it comes with a heavy-duty hub right there, caster block and arm. And in the back, it has a heavy-duty hub and rear arm. I think it's great that Traxxas included heavy-duty suspension components with this car, because when you're first learning how to drive this car and tune it, you will crash a lot. At least I did, which I wasn't the best at tuning either. But if you guys look, this is my old Traxxas I bought back in 2023. It does not come with the heavy-duty suspension components. It comes with just the standard stuff. Something else I'd like to point out about this car, which I had issues with, was the rear tires. Yeah, they're fat, you know, we all love some fat slicks, but they balloon incredibly bad. Not so bad on the stock gearing, which comes with the car, which I believe is a 2276, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but on that gearing, the tires do not balloon as bad, but once you swap to that 29 tooth pinion in there, these tires balloon up like pizza cutters, and it makes the car so uncontrollable. And speaking of uncontrollable, these rear shocks here, not so much the shocks, but the springs. I had a hard time tuning this car when I first got it on these springs. I just do not like the way progressive right springs handle, at least in drag racing. So that's why I converted to, on this Traxxas, I converted to the GTR shocks with the linear right springs. And on this car, in case anyone's interested, I got the green compound springs. I just painted them black. Alright, so now let's talk about upgrades. The upgrades I recommend you do first to this car would be tires and a cooling fan for the motor. I recommend doing tires first because it'll make the car launch so much harder. And the car will also be more controllable because all the drag tires, or at least most of them on the market now, are belted, meaning they won't balloon crazily like these tires will. The next thing I recommend you guys upgrade is the rear shocks. This is because you have to adjust your preload with these preload clips here, and it can be kind of difficult to actually fine-tune your shocks. So that's why I recommend... What the heck was that sound, bro? Anyway, there it is again. Anyway, that's why I recommend... Bro, what is that sound? It won't quit. Alright, I'm just gonna ignore it. That's why I recommend you guys upgrade to shocks that are threaded, because with the shocks being threaded, you can basically fine-tune your preload, making the car launch straight. I have heard people complain about the drive shafts in these cars, but I've never... Why is the quality so bad? Hang on a second. All right, there we go. So, like I said, I have heard people complain about the drive shafts in these cars. However, I've not had any issues with mine. These are the same drive shafts I've had in the car since I bought the car. And they got a little bit of wear around the pins, but that's nothing you should really worry about unless you're racing competitively. But anyway, well, that's all I got for you guys in this video. If you learned something or found this video helpful, please drop a like and subscribe, because I do a lot of drag racing on this channel. And that leads me to this new build right here. I'm gonna try and do what's called a street build, basically meaning the car will not have a wheelie bar, kind of like a street car, hence the name street build, you know. Anyway, so I'm thinking it'd be a pretty fun build. It's gonna be extremely difficult because these cars love the wheelie. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna end up doing is plonking some weight up front, doing some magic with the rear end, and I'm thinking the car should launch just fine. Anyway, guys, like I said, that's all I got for you in this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.